people falling in love with me. Hey, hi, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race Holland, Season 2, Episode 7. And we've got things to talk about, but before we get to it, the first thing I would like to do is welcome my latest Patreoner to the Fingerdoo family, all the way from Australia. Pasha Bulka joined me on Patreon this week. Thank you so much, Pasha. We're having a live chat this Sunday, so make sure you're available, is all I'm saying. Shut your face. I also want to remind you to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And while you're down there, why not check out all my links for ways that you can support the Fingerdoo review right there down in the description box. Now, Jorge, drink me! Ooh, what is this purple deliciousness? Grape and vodka? Well, fancy. Oh my God, Jorge, that's delicious. I'm so sorry I doubted you. Oh my God. If you've never tried grape soda, if you've never tried generic grape soda and vodka, give yourself a taste treat this weekend is all I'm saying. Shut your face. All right, let's get to it. Okay, I just have to say, after what went down on the runway last week, I'm surprised that the queens, Vivaldi and Vanessa, went about saying goodbye to Tabitha like nothing happened. I mean, it was like having the biggest elephant in the room ever. What did you say? Although once they took a load off, Vanessa spouted some dreck about seeing true remorse in Vivaldi's eyes and was proud that she'd learned a lesson she'd keep for life. Yeah, if that lesson was, don't tell anyone you're cheating. Wow, I have to say, I really hated that the moral high ground Vanessa was on didn't have any steaming piles of reality for her to step in, because if anyone needed to learn something about last week, in my opinion, it was Vanessa. Shame on her for throwing anyone under the bus to save herself and then go around with that Earth Mother tone in her voice. $5 says she's screaming at Vivaldi before the end of this episode, I'm just saying. I also have to say, if I'd been Vivaldi, right or wrong, I would have been livid with Vanessa, but Vivaldi threw Vanessa's Earth Mother tone right back at her when she said it was never her intention to hurt her. Well, at least that's one apology, I believe. Seriously. Thank God for Puni, who tried to lighten the mood by pointing out how cheap Ketta's dress was, or looked. I really stopped paying attention by that point. Just saying. The next day in the workroom, I think I was suffering a flashback or something. I mean, why else would I think I saw the queens laughing and getting along as the latest girl group to hit the scene? They did? Well, that doesn't make me feel any better. Once they stopped the madness, Puni pointed out that Ketta had as many badges alone as the rest of the queens did as a group. Normally, I would say thank goodness for RuPaul's video message, but to tell the truth, there was such a forced sense of sweetness and joy coming from all the queens that it was all I could do to keep my lunch down. And I have a big lunch, I tell you. Even Fred's reaction to another choreographed greeting seems scripted and phony. Are you sensing that I found this episode really hard to watch? Because I did. This week's mini challenge was no easier to watch. It was the mismatch contest. The queens had to accept an award while impersonating one of the other queens. I mean, really. But with the help of Sweetie Pie Mitch Vandelar of the pit crew, the queens had to pick a sash to see which queen they'd be impersonating and then get into quick drag as that queen in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. To accept their awards. 20 minutes. I couldn't imagine. Ketta got Vanessa. Vanessa got Vivaldi. Yikes. Puni got Ketta, and Vivaldi got Puni. And Mitch got flirted with by most everyone. Except Puni, because, well, she's engaged. Must be true love. Thing. One by one, the queens accepted their awards. Puni looked just like Ketta, but had a rocky start when she couldn't remember what award she was accepting. Vivaldi, well, looked just like Vivaldi, but that didn't stop her from accepting the Always Late award as Puni. It did stop me from liking her acceptance speech, though. I'm just saying. Vanessa looked as much like Vivaldi as I'm sure she'd let herself. Her acceptance speech was peppered with references to cheating and tweaking her well-covered boobs. I mean, she had a lot to work with. Keta looked nothing like Vanessa, and to be honest, I wouldn't know the difference between a Flemish accent and a Dutch accent, but she did feature some epic mood swings, so it wasn't total waste of an acceptance speech, I'm just saying. The winner of the mini challenge was Vanessa. Okay, here's to Vanessa. And then it was on to the Maxi challenge. This week, the queens would be acting in a murder mystery called If the Shoe Kills. And because Vanessa won the mini challenge, she got to cast the roles. Right away, the queens read the script and Vanessa doled out the parts. Everyone seemed happy with the part they got, and then once they were in drag, they arrived on set with Fred and actress comedian Tina de Bruyne. Acting with the queens was soap opera star, singer, reality TV regular, and would-be porn star Fairy Dodens. Cute. Like most of the acting challenges on Drag Race Holland, I didn't get this. The script was crass and lewd and way too overacted for me to follow, so I couldn't tell what was going on or who was doing well. I will say this, I thought Tina gave some great direction, but whether the queens took it or not, it's still a mystery to me. It was also nice to see Vivaldi acting without a breastplate. The weakest link in the cast was, surprise, surprise, Vanessa Van Cartier. She got the most direction from Tina, or as Vanessa called it, slaps on the wrist. Vanessa also admitted to becoming insecure when she's criticized. Funny, I thought she just became a bitch. And then it was elimination day. Puni was worried. Keta had 3 badges, so Puni was sure she was going straight into the finals. But the rest of them only had 1 badge each. No pressure. Keta asked Vanessa what she thought of her impersonation of her. Vanessa wondered if she was really like that. Keta assured her she was. Mood swings aside, Vanessa seemed more upset about the farting joke and asked who the biggest farter in the room was. Well, we all know the old adage, whoever smelt it, dealt it, and all the queens pointed at Vanessa to prove their point, while Vanessa pointed at Keta. Funny, I thought she'd say Vivaldi was the biggest fart in the room. My mistake. And with one more group cheer, the queens got ready for the runway. Speaking of the runway, Fred looked gorgeous in her red organza fantasy. Joining Fred at the judges' table was singer Glennis Grace, this week's director Tina de Bruyne, and, as always, Marika Samalo. Category is Double Dutch, which more or less meant that all the outfits needed to include a Dutch export and a Dutch icon. So, with that in mind, the first queen to hit the runway was Vivaldi. Now, I have to say right away, I really like Vivaldi's runway. It honored the Venga Boys, although I'm still not sure how, and that the first CD player was made in Holland. Fingerdoo for Vivaldi. Puni's ode to the classic blue and white Delft pattern in a look inspired by Dutch fashion icons Victor and Rolf was pretty meh for me. Not that she didn't look good, it's just that, well, we've seen this look more than a few times, so the magic was lost. So I had to give her a finger don't. Vanessa was next in a look inspired by Dutch artist Dick Brunner's children's books, Miffy, which she covered in little Klompen keychains. She also had a big spliff in her picnic basket. I thought she was just happy to see me. So clearly the icon was Miffy, but the export was either Klompen or marijuana. I'm still not clear. Still, I liked it enough to give her a finger do. Finally, Keta took the runway in her ode to Rembrandt and Holland's biggest export, steel. I have to say, this was the best runway of the night. I was super impressed by this and had no problem giving Keta a finger do. Seriously. And then it was time for the judges' critiques, and Fred kicked it all off by asking the queens who they thought should be eliminated before the finale. Like there hasn't been enough fighting. Vivaldi said Puni. Puni said Vanessa. Vanessa said Vivaldi, of course. And Keta, well, she said Vivaldi as well. Vivaldi took it well, I think. Then, after watching If the Shoe Kills, which I still didn't really get, but then from what I saw, neither did the queens. The judges shared their critiques. For the most part, everyone liked Vivaldi's acting, but Mariki thought that this was the least interesting outfit she's worn on the runway to date. The same was almost said for Puni, except that her acting was far better and her outfit was far worse. It was unanimous that Vanessa can't act, but no matter what she wears on that stage, her glamour shines through, while Keta got the most confusing critique of all. Everyone enjoyed her acting, most of all her Rotterdam accent. But Tina and Glennis thought her outfit was a bit too hard. Maybe she should have chosen a softer export, like cheese. Back in the Untucked Lounge, Poonie was convinced she was going to be lip-syncing, and it clearly bothered her. Vanessa made it all about her by saying she was going to make Poonie cry for picking her to go home. Poonie defended her choice by saying she based it on the last Maxi challenge. Well, that seemed to shut Vanessa up. Poonie did, however, seem to have a problem with Vivaldi saying she expected more from her. Well, that's the downside of having a reputation as a solid performer, I guess. Back on the main stage, Poonie got the shock of her life. She was all set to lip sync, but Fred took that opportunity away from her by naming her this week's winner. It's 2 badges for Poonie. Cheers, just saying. Who was it that was in the bottom, you ask? Well, I would have said Vanessa and Vivaldi so we could finally have it out between them, but the gag of the season was that it was Vivaldi and Keta who would be lip-syncing. Well, I know I was gagged. As for the lip-sync, it was pretty much neck and neck, but because Vivaldi's a cheater, I thought Keta would make it through to the finale. That wasn't the case. When the music died, and can I just ask, why Freddie Mercury and Queen? I find it hard to watch drag queens lip-sync to male singers. Just me? Anyway, when the music died, it was announced that Vivaldi shantaed and Keta sashayed. WTF? This has to be one of the worst calls ever made on any version of Drag Race. Seriously. Keta took the news like a champ, though. Yes, she was disappointed, but she didn't throw anyone under the bus or drag them through the mud. She just thanked Drag Race for the opportunity and, in the sincerest way, left the stage. Well, I was obviously shocked and disappointment in this call. How could they send a 3-time winner who'd never been in the bottom home over a 1-time cheater who'd already been in the bottom the week before? It's a mystery to me. At this point, if Poonie doesn't win, I will be more than disappointed with this season of Drag Race Holland. And if either Vanessa or Vivaldi win, I may lose my friggin' mind. I'm so serious. So, how about you? What do you think? Should Keta have gone home? Should she have even lip-synced in the first place? What about Vanessa? Are they grooming her to take the crown? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're there, please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out my links in the description box below for ways to support the Fingerdoo review. Until next week, miss me! Mwah! Seriously, that was a perfect opportunity for them to kick Vivaldi out without it being about her cheating, but it still totally would have been. And Vanessa, I don't know, there's something about her. She just seems to be so, I don't know, she has that sweet treacle voice of hers when she's trying to make, even when she was arguing with Vivaldi on the stage last week, she just seems to kind of hide behind this veneer of sweetness and, oh, I've had such a hard life, and oh, no, I'm just calling it as I see it. It's like, well, you're looking at it in the wrong direction, is all I'm saying. You know, I have to say, I've stayed off social media because I have no idea what people are saying about Vivaldi or Vanessa. I just hope that the public is as disappointed with them as my YouTube viewers seem to be. Because I was worried last week. I thought if I say anything too mean about either one of them, I may get attacked. But no, they love me.